Enjoying videotaping YouTube too much.
Posturing and threatening and questioning my right to be mad. Well, let them come for me or my people and watch the upheaval rain down. Just let them come. Can't stand in the shadows much longer. The battle is getting warmer. Let them come. Let them come. But I'm standing here waiting on the war cry while the choppers circle around in my red sky. Fly ashes, sweat ashes. The discourse is no more. We passing on to another dawn, similar to past lives. If you knew your history, then you could probably transcribe what's happening down to the millisecond. The revolution is ever present, and steady on a constant stream. The only thing that ever changes are the hues on the screen. The same scenes come through on the local news. It ain't the German shepherds now, it's the principals and the pastors too, and the local crews, and the mother, cousin, grandmother closest to you. They got our whole generation, it's a new strange fruit, thinking they martyrs for a birthright, dying while their lights bright. Posturing and threatening and questioning my right to be mad. Well, let them come for me or my people and watch the upheaval rain down. Just let them come. Can't stand in the shadows much.
Peace, Misfits. We are coming to you from Manhattan. We are standing on 34th Street, and this is a new chapter for the eXcape theory. I've been chilling for a while. There are actually several episodes that we were supposed to make sure got out to everybody, but I've been on a journey, as I'm sure many of you have as well. So now we begin anew. In this episode, we're going to be talking about the importance of the open mic. It's going to be awesome. We have Rebecca Dupas and Verbatim Monday. We have Shawn Michaels and Thursday Bliss. We have Tiffany Linnell and Bare Soul, and we have Love the Poet and Be Free Fridays. All four of these open mics are unbelievably amadamorphous, and I'm happy that everybody is going to finally be able to see them in case you've never attended. After you see them, I'm fairly certain you're going to make sure that you get down to the DMV and support every single one. Now, of course, the importance of the open mic is going to be a series. I definitely plan to show you different excuse me. I've really planned to show you different events going on here in New York, in Baltimore, in DC, in Philly. We'll even travel across the country. Just you can get an idea of how awesome the open mic scene really is. So let's go. We're about to enjoy this and these new chapters of me living in New York. Are you ready? Here we go. Story to people of when I first came up with the idea for storytellers. There was an event that I was attending on a regular basis called Be Free Friday, and when I was attending this event, it was hosted by a lesbian. Her name was Love the Poet. Going to this event, I had an opportunity to step on the mic and tell my story without fear of people ridiculing me for my sexuality or anything else. She gave a safe haven to so many artists, and through that, I wanted to create an event the same. A place to give people an opportunity to just be an artist. That's what Storytellers is about. Giving people an avenue to be able to share their gifts, to tell their story without feeling as though people were going to judge them. And that came through me being able to be comfortable at another event. So I paid it forward pretty much. So I want to take all of you to one of the very first places I felt comfortable in being able to simply be an artist. I'm about to take you to Be Free Friday. And I really hope that you enjoy all of the footage that we were able to get of these performances. I think you'll enjoy it. You're definitely going to enjoy the commentary. You have people like Mama Jackie Terry, Love the Poet herself, Word Slave, Black Root, so many awesome people. So let's go to it. It's Be Free Friday. Enjoy.
Want to welcome everybody to Be Free Fridays. My name is Love the Poet. I'm your host for the evening. You can clap for me if you like.
Yeah!
Thank you. So before we get started, just got a couple of rules. First rule of the evening, respect the mic. Second rule of the evening, respect the mic. Anyone can guess what the third rule is? Respect the mic. Respect the mic. What does that mean? Love the poet. What?
All right.
Oh, something fantastic, just whisper amongst yourselves while I'm up here. I'm the, the whipping board, I'm the host, it's okay. Just don't be too loud, I'm gonna have to say shut up. I love you though. And so, but if you really have something you want to talk about or whatever, there's this wonderful corridor down here. You can walk down this corridor and out the side door and you can have whatever kind of conversation you want because we won't be able to hear you. It is important because it's not easy to get up here on this microphone. And when people do get up here, if they're seasoned or not, they still need your undivided attention. And the energy you give to them is the energy they're going to give right back to you. Cool? Yes. Okay, so that's your responsibility, audience. People getting on the microphone. There is one baby in here, but he's not yet.
Yeah, that was good. All right.
Oh.
You're going to learn today.
Oh, I'm going to have to address these fellas in a minute. I first started performing in the city probably around like 2000. Yeah, I went down, maybe did a couple of times at the Warm Wednesdays on Charles Street. When I was on Charles Street, did that a couple times. In and out because I was in college. So I actually became, it's interesting because I became a part of the open mic scene with my own personal little open mic that I would do at Compton. And Native Son David Ross would bring, poetry people from Baltimore. They would come to the open mic. Tanya Jahipster came at one point. So it was kind of like bringing what was going on outside of the scene, like outside of the school into the school, so that the students who were also getting an open mic could see what was available outside of the college. Oh man, I've been writing poetry since I was 11, and Danielle, aka Sister Smiley, and Native Son were the first poets, spoken word artists that I saw perform, and it was at Cochran. And so I just walked up to them afterwards and asked them how they did it, and they kind of took me under their wing, and then I became a residence hall assistant, and I had to do programs, so I decided to do open mics.
How do I feel? Ask me now that we're cozy and clinging. Well, sir, all I can say is if I were a bell, I'd be ringing. From the moment we kissed tonight, that's the way I just gotta behave. Boy, if I were a lamp, I'd light, and if I were a bell, I'd ring. Ask me, how do I feel? Little me with my quiet upbringing. Well, sir, all I can say is if I were a game, I'd be swinging. And if I were a watch, I'd start popping my springs. And if I were a bell, I will ding dong, ding dong, ding. Ask me, how do I feel from the chemistry lesson we're learning? Well, sir, all I can say is if
scene for me has been, in large part, it's been mostly a joy. In all honesty, it's been a place where I can cut my teeth, so to speak, as an artist, where I can develop my craft and to go and, you go out and you fellowship with other people, other artists, other like minds, and, you can test out new material if you want to. You can go and do old stuff that people know and they sing along with you, and, it feels good. It helps you. The bottom line is it helps you become a better performer so long as you are working on your craft outside of that, outside of the open mic. As long as you're working on your craft, when you come back to the open mic scene, the more you do it, the better you're going to get, the more inspiration you're going to get, the more people you're going to come across who help you to become a better artist, the more people you come across to build with. So,
for me, I'd say the importance of the open mic and venues that facilitate open mics, not only to hone your skills, but to share your talents and for therapy. Everybody talks about catharsis. Everybody talks about the therapeutic abilities that your words have on yourself. The legendary last poets said that, writing, if you go back to some of your old writing, you can heal yourself. You know what I mean? And I think that's a beautiful thing of having the ability to do that. So we're just talking about the performance aspect of going to the open mic. If you want to do that, maybe as a professional thing, because obviously we're professional musicians, rappers. You know what I'm saying? We play spoons.
clickety
clap. We do all types of cool stuff with music and with words. You know what I mean? So it's a great way to test those things out. But if you're just a person who wants to express something that happened yesterday to get road rage, you know what I'm saying, on your paper, so you don't go out and do something illegal out on the street, you know what I mean? That's what it's for, because it's definitely an outlet for me in that regard. And just conversing with other people, linking up with like minds, and expanding, your mental vocabulary, your social vocabulary, and just getting out of certain boxes that we put ourselves in as we grow up, getting out of certain boxes that people try to place on you, you know what I mean, and be it socioeconomic status or what have you, or whatever ills or distractions that are getting you away from what your goals are. You know what I mean? I think open mics are a form of release, just like I think weightlifting, eating properly, you know what I'm saying, singing, dancing, a whole bunch of different things that are artistic. They help to channel other things, you know what I mean, to help you keep your eyes on the prize, so to speak. So open mics are really important for all of those reasons, and even ones that I can't think of right now, because you know what I'm saying, you got me on the spot, want me to answer questions about an open mic. You feel me? You feel me? You feel me?
Yeah.
Know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, sure, because you are wrong, and I don't want to get
She know what I'm talking about.
You know what I'm saying?
She's not even a real person. She know what I'm talking about.
I think I was on my grind really heavy, meaning I was hitting every open mic spot that I could hit, going everywhere, and I think it was just knowing what I appreciated. I was also a co-host of Spoken Word Revolution with Either Poet MC, and I just saw a need here. I feel like there's a poetry open mic just for everyone. Like there's something going on. Like everyone has something that they like, you know what I mean, or what they do there. There's an open mic that has a bar. There's open mics that don't have bars. You know what I mean? There's open mics in a club setting. There's open mics that are in more of a home setting. And I was just kind of like, I see all of this, and I went to DC and I went to something called Spit That, next to my troop, and I really enjoyed the family vibe of that place, and the fact that they could just kind of wild out a little bit, but it wasn't too much. People were still listening very intently, and I often say that Be Free was modeled a lot after Spit That, just in the free willingness of it all, and just knowing what I liked about open mics and kind of bringing a little piece of everything that I saw together and do it my way. I think it's just the energy, the freeness, because I act a fool. I think the host is a key component of a venue, of course, because they control the ebb and flow of the situation. And I feel like I host in a very unique style, wherein I'm I'm just kind of like doe-eyed about everything that I see going on, but you know, there's so much going on when people do their poems and stuff like that, and everybody isn't the best. Everybody isn't gonna be, you know, super top notch, whatever. But finding whatever it is in that person and bringing that to the forefront and saying, hey, you have a home here, and let's keep rocking, let's keep working, let's see your growth. You know what I mean? And just letting people know that they can be free. I think there's a lot in a name. You know, the original name of Be Free Fridays is Spoken Serenity Be Free Fridays. And I dropped the Spoken Serenity just because it was a little too long. But the meat and potatoes of it was to be free. Like, you know what, do you. As long as you like what you do and do it in all righteousness to yourself, if you like it, we love it here. You know what I mean? I mean, just don't come here with no crazy ignorant shit. Because I let you know that about that too. I think I'm firm but fair. I think that's the difference. You know what I mean?
I'll say my personal negative first is the fact that sometimes I have difficulty paying attention for the duration of a piece, let alone the duration of an entire event. So for me, you gotta come with it. If you're performing on stage, you gotta come with it. It takes a lot for me personally for my attention to be held. And that can be a side because you find yourself, especially when you find yourself in good company, you know, people that you know, people that you've been accustomed to being around in the scene, in particular venues and stuff like that. You know, you get to laughing and joking and talking and sharing and stuff like that. All along, there's somebody on stage that is trying to get out their pain or get their therapy out. And, you know, you don't want to be rude to that person, but sometimes it's difficult it's difficult to sit and just be engaged in that wholly. The other part of that is, straight up, you have to do your craft. You have to respect the craft, and you have to work on it outside of these venues. So some people do it for therapy, and some people do it just because they just want to release something. But those are the people I feel like aren't the people who are going to do it for extended periods of time. The craft and making sure you work on it. In short, you know, making sure you work on it, because a lot of people get up and just do whatever because it's an open mic and anybody is welcome. But when you continuously do it, you should grow. You should become better. I know I stepped away for a while just because a lot of times I feel like I didn't have anything new to offer, anything better to offer. I want to come with something new and exciting for people, because although I am releasing whatever it is I'm releasing, and you know, I'm doing therapy, and I'm doing therapy on stage. I'm essentially performing as well, so it should be enjoyable for the people as well.
Lyrical redundancy, and sometimes when people go to open mics, certain individuals go just to share, certain individuals go because they're honing their craft. So in some cases, they don't even care about anybody else in the room. So everybody is listening or there for different reasons. And sometimes they're not open to experience other people's processes. You know what I mean? I also think one other bad thing sometimes is when he says about growing. Sometimes some poetry is bad. You know, so a part of growing is sometimes getting better than where you were, and then coming someplace where you're like really good. That's what you want to do. And sometimes that's not the case. Sometimes you got a lot of yes people who are in your corner for what it is you're talking about that in some ways are codependent and are helping to stifle your growth as a person. Not even as an artist, but as an individual. You know what I mean? And I think sometimes that can be bad. You know, so every open mic unfortunately has cliques and people that always come in and hang with each other. So as you're growing, sometimes you want to be able to hop in and out of different cliques. You know what I mean? But sometimes people just stay in that same lane. So you're still not growing. Even though you're going to different open mics, you're going to find the same type of people, and those same people are failing and growing. You know what I mean? So I think sometimes that redundancy can be a problem. And it still took me less time than brother Nimbus Cloud over here with the big wins. So holla back at me.
I'm Word Slave.
I'm Black Root. Root Word. Holla.
A place of comfort for people who are discovering the voice. It's an opportunity for you to try out new work to see if it works. I'm going to do that tonight, as a matter of fact. I got some new pieces. that I haven't tried on an audience. I want to see if it's gonna, if it's gonna land, if it needs more work, and basically to just get people out of the fear of standing before an audience and just laying bare their soul. The charge for the host of the open mic is to make sure that that environment is safe, so that they can do that without free of judgment, repercussions, negative feedback, whatever. So, and it's a necessary step, very necessary step in developing as an artist.
She doesn't stay here right now because she's getting her MFA right now and doing her thug fizzle away. But she loves us, and whenever she can be here, she is here. She wrote the foreword to my book.
And she's awesome.
And she's freaking awesome. Yeah. And we love her dearly, so I need y'all to love her too. I want you to give up for Jackie Terry!
So much. Thank you, boo. I'm working on some work. So, I'm just gonna go in. Just want something to do. The name of this piece is called How I Got Here. I wrote about a moth one day. Wing, furry, pink and yellow. He wasn't odd. He was just beautiful. All I knew was song and dance, but never did I get a chance to blossom full. My dad felt it impossible. Little bow-legged, chopped and me would never see anything but blues and babies. So, I wrote. Words belong to me. And it was the only thing no one could take. On the page, I'm free. With my pen, I escaped the ugly reality of life and desertion. Even my own excursion from things too painful for pen. I wrote about my insanity. Ink stains hieroglyphed my memory to papyrus. I must not stop lest I lose my soul. The goal was to just write. The nightmares and the morning suicide notes, just write. The crust out of my teary eyes, the frog out of my atrophied throat, just write. And fight the hell out of my self-induced hell. Tap out of the madness, right until my fingers swell. I need God like I need to breathe. Where's my faith, my little mustard seed? Where's my life? How did it get to be this? I wrote about a moth to find my way to me. A beautiful pink and yellow creation, and through 6-year-old eyes, this old woman gets to be more than just a survivor. You see, I survived. This life I lived is no greeting card, prose, or vibe. This is the part where the little girl gets to know the woman.
It's a gateway. It's kicking the door. You know what I mean? It's like you got to start somewhere. You can only practice in your house for so long before, you get bored of practicing in your house. And then you got to go somewhere. And you don't, a lot of things have a process. And I think to becoming a viable artist and somebody who's ready and willing to get on bigger stages, you have to start somewhere. And I think for people like myself who are artists, promoters, hosts, the whole 9 yards, I think it's very important for us as artists to build places for people to share their work, because only we really know how to relate with them. You know what I mean? I know why people should come here, so I tell them why they should come here because I did it. You know what I mean? So I think that that's a very key component. I think it's very important. It's called The South in Me, for my grandmother, Doris McKinney. I was told the other day that I had the South in me, given to me by my grandmother who originated in Tallahassee and to whom another name could not describe. Such a grandmother. She gave birth to a tribe which began as 5 and is now at 28. She put the South in me. She stood about 5 feet with such fair skin she could almost pass, but Doris McKinney would have none of that. This mother so grand's inside were onyx black, and she shielded her family from the hurt and pain of the civil rights movement world. She had 2 little boys and 3 little girls who grew up to bear 14 children between them, and some are now raising children of their own. My grandmother, their great-grandmother, was the feistiest little woman the South had ever known. She did things her way until the Lord saw fit to call her home. You see, we had the South, and we, Monique, Aaron, Kimberly, me, Camilla, Ashley, Kiana, Sierra, Sean, Brittany, and Tiffany, joined together by the moon's mystery, and we command the rise and fall of seas. As her granddaughters, we mentally and physically give birth to seeds of strength and wisdom, beauty and grace, hardships and freedom, and those same characteristics are planted in the world by her grandsons, Dante, Danielle, and Calvin. We are products of 2 generations of segregation days, sit-ins, and KKK, the price our parents paid on integrated school days. We are products of the road she led them to pave. My grandmother gave the South to me, and although I didn't know her well because we lived so far away, she would always express how proud she was of me. And she never saw me run track or perform spoken word poetry on stages, but because of word of mouth, a tradition passed down through the ages, she knew. And just like today, I felt her presence even though she wasn't there. And now I wish there was a way I could have given her my air, my heartbeat, my 2 legs, and my 2 feet so she could live to see another 72 years with no more ailments or tears. Her pain I would bear. I wish it were my life to give. But as long as I have the South in me, her energy, generosity, hard work, and joy will always, always live.
That's right.
Write, read poems, listen to poetry CDs, delve into, figure out what you like, and then figure out your voice in it. That's very important. You have to remember your voice because there's a thin line between influence and imitation, you know? And so you gotta walk that line because of course we're all influenced by everything. But you have to know what your voice is, where you come from. So keep writing, write, erase, whatever, record it, whatever it is, you know what I mean? Put it to the side, keep practicing. And remember that there's really no such thing as writer's block. You can glean inspiration from anywhere. Just go with that. Will never be a defunct situation. I believe that it will sustain. I hope that it will grow. I hope that more people will want to come to open mics and utilize the space, you know what I mean, and really enjoy what it is that we do here because really, I mean, in all honesty, you're getting a full concert 2 or 3 hours long for $5 most time. And it's interesting because it seems like the more you charge someone, the more they want to come. Because they must feel like it must be something fantabulous going on. But, you know, for the regular common person who you would like to come in and perform and to share, that $20 for an open mic is unfeasible. So just know that open mics are rocking and you're only paying $5. I had a patron last month walk up to 13 of Nazareth, who was my feature, and say she only paid $5 to get in here. She felt like she stole from him. In all honesty, she did. But that's okay, because it was allowed. That's kind of what we do, because we're sharpening our swords here. And if you want to get on the ground floor of what magnificent people do before they become superstars, come to open mics, because that's where Jill Scott and Jasmine Sullivan, people of that nature got their start, you know, rocking open mics. So just know, we're here and we rock it.
So we've had an opportunity to take a journey. This is the importance of the open mic scene. I hope you've enjoyed it. This is just part one. As I told you before at the very beginning, I plan to travel the country showing you so many awesome open mic venues. It's important to understand that being about the open mic is more than just poetry. You have an opportunity to act, to dance, to sing, to have your visual art shown. It's all about the importance of the art. And it's very important that we make sure we always support it. The arts give people an opportunity to truly express themselves. If only everyone knew just how important that was. The arts can save lives. Remember that. Until next time, this is Raven Akundeo, thanking you so much for joining us for the eXcape Theory. Until next time, namaste.
Posturing and threatening and questioning my right to be mad. Well, let them come for me or my people and watch the upheaval rain down. Just let them come. Can't stand in the shadows much longer. The battle is getting warmer. Let them come. Let them come. When I'm standing here waiting on the war cry, while the choppers circle around in my red sky, fly ashes, sweat ashes. The discourse is no more. We pass it on to another dawn, similar to past lives. If you knew your history, then you could probably transcribe what's happening down to the millisecond. The revolution is ever present, and steady on a constant stream. The only thing that ever changes are the hues on the screen. The same scenes come through on the local news. It ain't the German shepherds now, it's the principals and the pastors too, and the local crews, and the mother, cousin, grandmother closest to you. They got a whole generation, it's a new strange fruit, thinking they martyrs for a birthright. Die while they